Ekara, Ekason, Ekale. Welcome to the let's call it episode 0. Episode 0 of the Yusuff podcast. My name is Sodiq Yusuff. This is my little brother
Yusuff. The owner of the
podcast.
Yeah.
How does it feel to have the show named after you?
Yeah, I'm honored, man. It's like I always knew I was the best Yusuff.
No, I thought I would call it Yusuff podcast because Sodiq Yusuff. His name is Yusuff, but Yusuff podcast.
Yeah, since we're both Yusuffs, but I'm the most important Yusuff because I got it twice.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably already know who I am, but for those of you who don't, welcome. My name is Sodiq Yusuff. I'm a professional UFC fighter in the featherweight class, and this is my brother's little brother of professional UFC fighter. I picked him to do this show because, I was like, man, who can I talk to that isn't going to bother me? I'm not gonna feel like killing when I'm cutting weight and doing like stuff that, just the basic stuff,
Yeah, I know, because he just chose me because I'm the professional little brother, like professional. That's the little title you're gonna put under it.
Professional little brother. And honestly, too, it's because me and you kind of have similar interests, where we can talk about stuff that are the same, but we also have also some vastly drastic differences too. Like a lot of stuff that I'm into, like some pop culture stuff that I want to talk about. I'm pretty sure he'll be completely out of the loop.
Yeah, it's very stereotypical, as you can see.
Yeah. Look, it's funny. Look, light skin, dark skin, glasses, no
light
glasses,
shirt, black shirt.
Yeah. Oh, you would think we did all this together? Yeah, it's like the exact opposite. They just gotta put like a bar in between us. But the same thing too, I'm probably gonna talk about UFC fights and stuff like that, which you'll also be out of the loop on. So it'll be good to be able to bounce ideas off of him. And then we'll talk about current topics and even like some anime stuff, like whatever we're watching during the season or whatever we're watching during the week.
That's my expertise, man. I know. That's my bigger crowd right there.
Yeah, then you can bounce the ideas off of me, and then it will roll like that. But like I'm saying, this episode 0, I don't think we're gonna name it anything. We're just gonna kind of flow with it and see how it goes.
Yeah, probably establishing structure.
All right, yeah. So the basic structure of how we're probably gonna try to do this is just talk about how my week is going, like how's stuff going with training, fighting, like stuff like that. And then after that, we'll each introduce a topic that we found interesting that happened during the week. So we could basically start like that. So right now, what's today, the 3rd?
The 3rd, on a Saturday.
Yeah, so I'm 2 weeks away from my fight in Anaheim. I'm going to be fighting on UFC 241. Your boy made it on the pay-per-view, man. Look at that. Three fights in. Your boy's on the pay-per-view. I mean, yeah, I got to pay for it. Money was talking about actually coming out there, but I don't think she wanted.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I didn't think she wanted to get on the plane.
Yeah. I mean, do a road trip if that was like planned out a little way further ahead.
Nah, sway. But yeah, at this point now, I had my last hard training session yesterday, my last hard sparring session. So from here on, it's just about bringing my weight down, and it's the rough part, I've never missed weight before, but it's never really easy either.
See, that's the thing I was actually about to ask you about, because you just said you had the rough part of training. Now it's about weight cut. And I always was under the impression that you guys just trained all the way through, and like you lost weight like through training.
I mean, yeah, you are still technically training all the way through. It's just now the training is more geared towards burning calories and losing weight more than actual training for a skill or training for the opponent. All the part about training for your opponent is kind of already done. Now you're just refining your skills and just working out to try to burn the weight.
Like sharpening the blade, so to speak.
Yeah. So... And that's all that's going on with me. And now let's get into some current topics.
Nice. All
right. The first thing I wanted to talk, I just wanted to get your opinion on this stuff. This show is hilarious. So there's this model. Let me look this thing up. I'm trying to get her name. And she posted, I think she put it on either Instagram or Twitter. Her name is Clarissa Pinkston. And she put on Instagram, she put, man, transgendered people, like if you're a man, you're a man. If you're a woman, you're a woman. She's basically doing stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So how do you think the internet reacted to this?
Man, this either goes one of two ways. Anytime anybody does that, Anytime anybody does one of these things, it's on the one of two ways. Either it's like, man, leave her alone, man. She's a fine one. She's just saying what's coming on her mind. That's what we're all thinking, and it's all fine. Or they're like, what do you mean? How can a man be a man?
So let me tell you, the internet wasn't happy with that because you know you gotta be progressive, stand up for transgender rights.
Yeah.
So there was like, man, don't be a bigot, blah blah. Like people are all different type of sexes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you know. I could always appreciate a good pander.
Yeah. Oh God! Did she play her cancel card?
What she did was she said, "Okay, I apologize, everybody. The truth is, I was actually born a man, and I'm a transgendered woman, and this is just me being insecure about myself, and I didn't know how to do it. So this is me coming out to you all." And then everybody was like, "Oh dang, like they didn't know," and because she was insecure, you know, like so she's just attacking other people. Plot twist. She's not transgender.
She pulled the arm gay.
Yeah, the little Kevin Spacey
I'm gay.
Yo, I was like, yo, and then after like the people that grew up with her, they was like, man, this person's a regular girl. She's not transgender. And then she had to come back out and apologize again and be like, oh, sorry.
Y'all, I'm sorry. No. Y'all were being mean to me. I didn't have any option.
Yo, I was like, man, some people, like, when they just, you get in trouble and then you just keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. It's like, at what point did you think that let me lie to them and tell them I'm transgender was going to work? Like, they can't just go back in your past and find out that you've always been a girl.
Man, to be fair, how would they know that? That's ignorant of them. Just because I used to dress like a girl, I was born a girl, I always said I was a girl, I ain't never make no, that don't mean I'm not transgender.
Man, that joke was hilarious. When I heard that story, I was like, man, I gotta talk to Yusuff about this.
It's funny as a bug.
All right, do you have something to talk about?
That's actually funny. I don't know the name of this girl, but it was like, this is actually not from that long ago, because you know he's always getting us on Twitter and all that stuff about like all these people doing. So like, there's this new thing of like cosplay blackface. So it's like white cosplayers would dress up like a black fictional character, right? And then they'll take the extra step of tanning their skin on the little. So like then people, the argument now comes up of like, how far do you take it? Because there's like some people are like, oh, you can't even cosplay a black character because there's so little black characters out there.
I don't know, man. I don't think I have a problem with that one.
You don't have a problem with them tanning the skin?
Man, it depends on what it looks like. Like
man.
A white person. I don't know. It also depends on how good the costume looks. Like, what if it's like a good looking like costume? Like they tan their skin and they end up looking like a. I'm trying to think like a white person trying to be Static Shock.
Yeah. With the trans wigs.
I don't know. No. I can see how that joke would be disrespectful.
You can see how it could be disrespectful just a little bit.
Okay, it's definitely disrespectful. You shouldn't be. Man, but it's cosplay.
Yeah.
Can you have green skin?
Yeah, you can have green skin. You're going to dress like Piccolo or something.
Yeah,
you're going to have green skin. But come on, Sodiq. Because, all right, here's the thing.
How about this? Can they cosplay as a character but not do the skin thing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
See, that's because, like, the line is when you tan your skin, now you're doing blackface. You're doing, that's, like, just out of the question.
Okay.
The problem, the real moral, like, playground is, can a white person cosplay just a black character in general? Because some people, I mean, I think anybody can cosplay anybody they want as long as you don't start being offensive with it. But some people are going like, oh, because there's not enough black characters out there, you should let black people cosplay black characters just because of how little of them they are. I disagree with that.
Yeah, no,
that doesn't make sense. I just find it funny as a bug, like the confidence these characters be coming out here with when you came out the house.
How did the cosplay people react to that? Like,
no, they flamed her. Like she's gone.
Oh, the cosplay people don't like it either.
No, they don't like it either because it's just like they said, it's blackface. So like they, for a second, you always have the defenders come out and just go like, well, is it just trying to cosplay the character and all that? But it's like there's a history behind it. Everybody in America knows what blackface is. Yeah. Like that's a line you're crossing. So that.
All right, let me hit you with another good one. I know you're a big fan of the dumb Fast and Furious movies, or the super action jump.
House and Shaw, dog. I'm about to see that jump. That's my favorite.
Hey man, like the thing is when a movie, like when they know what the audience wants, like the audience just wants dumb action, like there's no problem. Just go all the way all out with it. But I just found out something super funny about the dumb action, like the actual actors of the movie, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know in the Jason Statham in his contract, he actually has it written out that he can't get beat up too badly. That's one already. Talk about toxic masculinity.
Come on.
All right, now on top of that, Vin Diesel wants to top him. His jaw has he asks people in the people that are filming. Mm-hmm. He has somebody to count how many times he's getting hit, so he doesn't get hit more times than the rest of his co-stars.
Oh my goodness, dog! Come on. Like that, what does that do at the end of the day? How fragile are you internally?
When your whole world is just around other Hollywood actors, man, you start trying to look for anything to try to beat a macho guy.
Man, I have been hearing about weird stuff like they do like that in Hollywood. Like some people, like I think it's Tom Cruise because he's really short. Like he always has to wear the platform shoes, and they have to record him.
I understand that one because if you're shooting a movie and in the movie the guy looks like he's like 5'6" next to everybody else, he's not gonna look like the toughest guy, you know.
I mean, like that doesn't matter. That's part of the character.
You say it don't matter, but that like when you're watching a movie and then the main character is like super tiny, like it kind of
that's so fragile though. Like come on,
look at what they did with Wolverine. Like Wolverine in the comics is like a little tiny, short, buff dude. Yeah. But like in the movie, he's like a tall, huge Jackman.
Yeah, he's a huge Jackman.
Yeah, but I think it plays a little bit, man. Like at the end of the day, we all try to act like we're not that shallow, but I think it does play a little bit into it.
But if you're like in a big budgeted movie and all that stuff, because we in the audience, are we really sitting there counting like, oh dang, Vin Diesel just got hit 10 times?
That's some dumb shit. Like that's why when I saw that, I was like, dang, yo, like this dude's ego gotta be fragile as a mug, boy.
Like you really imagine there's an audience, there's a guy sitting in the audience going like, man, Vin Diesel just got hit 11 times. I could beat that nigga. He just got hit.
No, but it's not even how many times he gets punched. He wants to make sure his punch count is lower than everybody else.
I guess he didn't get hit enough by all those people. He must be the toughest in the room.
Hey man, who knows?
That's ridiculous.
You got any other stories?
I do know. Oh man, I got like so. You know the Nintendo Switch, we both got Nintendo Switches, right? Yeah. And like, you know, the whole selling point of it is like, you know, you can dock it on your TV, take it out, and like play with it on the go. Uh-huh. So they made a Nintendo Switch Lite. Do you know what the Nintendo Switch Lite does?
It's a lighter version of that.
It's a portable Nintendo Switch that you can't dock on your TV. It's just a DS.
Wait, I don't get it.
It's literally just a portable Switch. It's a whole different package. It's like cheaper, but like it's just a portable Nintendo Switch.
The Nintendo Switch is portable.
Yeah, exactly. Like you understand it? That it's just a portable Switch.
Hold on, maybe I have to see it.
No, so it's literally just the same thing. It has the Joy-Cons on it that you can't take out. Like it's just
Nintendo Lite.
Yeah, it's Switch Lite. It's the Nintendo Switch Lite. It's literally just the Nintendo Switch with the Joy-Cons attached, slightly smaller, and it can't be docked on your TV. It's just a full portable version of this junk.
Like they made the portable Nintendo Switch even more portable.
Yeah.
Hey yo, come on, dog.
That's literally it.
Yeah, it looks like the same exact thing.
It's literally the same thing, but you just can't take the Joy-Cons off because you know, like the regular Switch, you can take the Joy-Cons off. You can take the Joy-Cons off to dock it to your TV. Don't like this is something.
Hey, man, you know me, man. If you could find a way to make, if someone's gonna pay for it, you might as well make it. That's right. I bet you there's somebody out there buying it.
Like, but that don't even make sense to me. What can you do with that? If you already own a Nintendo Switch, why would you buy that? The only people I can see getting this are people that don't own a Switch.
Supply and demand. Like I said, someone's stupid enough to buy that, Johnny, you might as well make it.
I guess so. You can sell it to somebody, you might as well give it to them. But I was like, if you own a Switch and you buy this joint, I lose all respect for you. Because how can you justify that in an argument? Like, why do you need that if you already own a Switch?
I need to get rid of my Switch, actually. You know what? I might end up giving my Switch away to somebody. It's like somebody online or something. Because I bought it to play Smash Brothers, but none of my friends ever played that junk. All right, let me get to my next story. Are you watching Young Justice?
Yeah, I watch Young Justice.
Did you see the thing about Aqualad?
I saw the thing about Aqualad.
Dang, I was like, oh snap, Aqualad's gay. But they said he's actually gay in the comic book.
Is he gay or is he bi? Because I thought back in the original season, a Young Justice, he had like interest in the girl.
Is he? Yeah, I don't.
It matters about.
Why does that matter?
Well, I thought people would care if it mattered because there is a difference between being gay and being bi. They're both LGBTQ.
I don't think the people that care about Aqualad being gay will care if he was gay and if he was actually bisexual instead. Like, okay, never mind. He's only bisexual. So
and people get real.
I'm pretty sure the people that are upset about him being gay will still be upset about him being bisexual.
You're talking about the people being upset. I'm talking about the people trying to accept them into the community because they get.
I think they'll be okay too. They just got a gay character. I was like, man, why is he bi? I don't think they'll care.
Also, I don't know, because I was talking to Elliot about this joint, and we were just like, man, sometimes, like, people are real easy to satisfy on that joint. Because do you know how that came out in the episode? It's literally just the one screenshot, right at the end of the episode.
Him kissing a random dude.
Yeah, right. It's like, there's no character behind it or anything like that. It's just like a label, honestly. I don't have a problem with him being gay, but like if it's not, it doesn't matter to his character like at all.
Yeah.
It's like not a part of him whatsoever. It's
kind
of pandering.
If I was in the community, I'd be like, man, y'all give us Aqualad. Aqualad is like blank as a mud.
That's the man. They checked two boxes with that. They turned Aqualad black and they made him gay, and then they turned him into Aquaman, so they could be like, oh, we gave you a black Aquaman. Like they're checking boxes.
I could always appreciate a good pander, man.
Pander. Man, so, alright, I don't know you don't play video games that much, but do you know what a loot box is?
Yeah.
So you know the loot boxes and all that. And you know people have been fighting against it because they're like, it's like, man, that's kind of like gambling. People keep sucking their money into these games. Like, they will get a loot box and that get nothing. So, like, it went to court recently, and, like, they were like, is loot box gambling? So the courts decided ultimately, no, loot boxes aren't gambling because you can't, like, withdraw any monetary gain from it. So, like, you're sinking your money in, it's random, like, what you get, but you can't pull those items out and get money, so it's not gambling. You're it's literally spending. It's literally spending.
Yeah, okay.
So, you know what, anybody, like, whenever a court lets you get away with an idea, you know what the next step always is?
Go beyond.
Let's go beyond. They about to plus ultra, so GTA Online was like, oh, word? Gambling? So they was like, all right, we just put a casino in our game. You can use real world money to win in-game money, but you can never pull it out. So you can gamble with real world money for in-game money. But because you can never pull it out, it's not gambling.
Hey, nah, I'm with it, man. Because no, it still follows the same logic.
Yeah, it's the same logic.
Like you can't use the money for something else.
It's just spending, but it's still like, man, but people with like actual gambling problems, they don't care.
Yeah, man, yo, that's crazy. I remember back in the day, like when, especially even now, like I saw like the recent Dragon Ball Z games, you gotta pay for like extra characters and all that stuff. I'm like, dang, man, like they just give half games now. Like they don't give you complete
half games, and then you get the DLC later with the packs and all that stuff. I think one of the jumps was like on Steam. If you look up like all the additions for this one game and all that, it was like $800 like on the total bill if you wanted the full game DLC and all that. Like I recently
get your money, man. Like you see this thing keeps going on. Get your money. Get your money.
Like any way you can, because I was like, when I saw that, I was like, man, what can you even do for the person that would put their money in that game to like play, gamble, and get in-game currency? I was like, in GTA of all things, where you could rob a bank.
Yeah. I guess I gotta know more about the game because I'm trying to think like why would you like you said like you're paying to get
in-game money to gamble and play the game, because like I don't know, somebody probably is like, oh yeah, that's fun, man, it's just like I'm just playing it, but like you're using your real world money.
That's silly. But sticking on game topics, you saw the Fortnite tournament stuff?
What was that about? No, I didn't see that.
Fortnite held a dual tournament and a singles tournament, I think. I know this because my coach's son was telling me that he was trying to qualify for the tournament. I think you had to reach a certain amount of points, and then the top 1,000 people in the world got to all compete in the tournament. So it was an open tournament to everybody in the world. Yeah. The winner, the first place winner, I think the kid got like $9 million or something like that.
Yeah, man, esports are real, man. Esports are real, man.
Man, I'm over here getting punched in the face, dog.
Hey, but somebody else thinks that's ridiculous.
Man, getting punched in the face, I guess,
Yeah, somebody's like, you are going in a ring and physically hitting another human being for a certain amount of time, and both of you come out with money. Somebody else out there going like, man, I'm going down to these coal mines.
That's true.
Like,
That's true. The coal mine workers are, I guess that would be harder than being a UFC fighter. But nah, I was like, man, I can't. Yeah, here it goes. He won $3 million. That's what
playing for it.
Golly, $3 million, dog.
Man, football players win like millions of dollars for throwing a ball.
No, there ain't no football player making $3 million in one game.
Not in one game, but I'm saying. Well, that wasn't in one game. That's a whole tournament. You know how many people he had to beat to get that?
No, but I think Fortnite is that
it's a battle arena.
It's a battle royale.
Yeah, but I'm sure they had rounds.
Dog, $3 million is $3 million.
Yeah, but they still played multiple games against multiple people.
The whole prize pool was like $30 million or something like that. So like the second place person got paid, like the top 10 got paid. Man. We gotta go talk to mommy when she didn't motivate us more to play video games,
man. We out here getting real jobs.
I was like, oh my goodness, boy, I was hating like a mug, man.
You can hate all you want, man, but that's another avenue. That's just another avenue.
But that's cool, man. Because honestly, especially nowadays, like the kids now, they could get on Twitch, they could get on YouTube, they could man, that's pretty cool. The less real jobs people could get, the better it is.
Like anything, the moment you turn entertainment into a way to make money. Like I said, this is the same as football to me. Like kicking up, y'all playing sports, the same sports a kid plays in his backyard, like that, and then you just put it on a bigger stage. Yeah. And now you're making money. And it's as long as skill is involved, there's still skill involved in the game. Somebody can be better or worse at playing the video game. So that's like, there's test and arena.
Sometimes I be thinking like, man, like, I guess when you're not familiar with something, you can't tell what makes one person good and what makes one person not so good.
It's the same as anybody.
Because I'm like, man, like, after a while, isn't there like a peak of how good you could get at Fortnite?
Nah, because you got to understand. Okay, there's a controller. You press the character moves this way. You press the character moves this way. There's other commands and inputs you can make. Like somebody's way of doing that is always going to be different from somebody's other way of doing that. You like imagine somebody came up to you and saying like, "Man, isn't a limit of how hard somebody can punch you in the face?" But there's other facets to that. There's like, what else can you gonna do? Is there grappling, submission, and all that. All those other things. I don't play Fortnite, so I don't really know how the game works. But I know they have different items, they have different locations, they have different abilities they can do. Yeah. There's still like this whole scenario of like the shrinking map and all their strategy involved. If you get enough people in a room to do any one activity, there's always going to be a ranking.
Yeah, man, they gotta bring back the Dragon Ball Z tournaments, man, so I can compete. I try to get on Fortnite like a couple months ago. I didn't realize once you stop playing video games, that learning curve to get back in, that job's practically impossible.
It's gone. That's
like we started. They brought back Modern Warfare 2, and I was able to play that a little bit, but that little Fortnite jump, that jump went right over my head. Same thing with PUBG, all those little battle royale games. I think once you're out of the loop, you're kind of just
out of the loop, man. The generation's gonna sweep you by.
You got any other stories?
Not really, man. I was.
Oh, okay. I got one more.
Go ahead.
I got one more. I got one more. Mario Lopez. He said he was talking on you know that black conservative girl? She's like the black Tommy Lauren.
You just hit me with two names. I ain't even.
Okay, yeah. I forgot you be out of the loop. But her name's Candace Owens, and Mario Lopez was on her show, and he said he's usually like one of these like super like LGBTQ people, like he supports them all. And then on her show he said man, when these kids are like 3 years old, I don't think they should be able to tell you that they want to be a different gender and blah.
That makes sense.
And the freaking internet went crazy on
that. Just makes sense, dog. What the fuck does a 3-year-old know? What the fuck does a 3-year-old know?
You know what? Sometimes I'm starting to think that when people say people are outraged, I'm starting to think it's not real. Because I never run into these outraged people.
It's
in real
because
life.
The internet is like it's just like that specific group of people gets on and they're loud and they're louder than literally everybody else. So like like if they're the only ones talking, it's gonna sound like, oh, like imagine if you were walking past a room of like 12 people in it and you don't open the door and all you hear is like 2 people yelling. You're gonna be like, man, that's a loud ass room.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, nah. When I saw that, I was like, man. And then like the fact that he said 3 years old, and then the people were still going against that. Like, dog, do you know how many things I would have wanted to be at 3 years old? I, honestly, somebody probably could have convinced me into thinking I wanted to be a girl at 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like if you just told me that it was cool as hell, it was like, man, being a girl is so cool. Blah, blah, blah. Like I was like, oh yeah.
Or remember,
maybe I'm a girl.
Or remember like wearing one of Mummy's shoes, or anything like that, just to see what it was like. And then somebody takes a picture of you like that and look at my little girl.
The thing that was super whack was that he ended up apologizing. I was like, man, come on, dog. I was
but like you gotta placate them.
No, you don't. I know.
That's his whole career, dog.
He's 3 years old. I'm pretty sure if he just stuck by what he said, he could. Well,
he would have found a group of people to support him. But the problem is the group that would support him is not the group you want.
Yeah.
Like that's not.
And that like the vocal group could get you in more trouble than the people that aren't gonna say anything.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't care. Like a lot of them don't care. But the problem is the people that do care are loud as hell, and they're gonna keep talking about it, and they're gonna try. Then you know that now there's a change.org petition. After your job and all that stuff, and all because you stated like a very simple opinion that is very easy to get to behind about a 3-year-old not knowing what the fuck they're talking about. That I think we all agree that 3-year-olds don't know what the fuck they're talking about at any given time. It's like,
oh man,
I'm not taking any advice from a 3-year-old.
Well, that's basically all my little talking point.
Yeah, we want get on them animes. Get on my realm. Get in my dimension real quick.
Right. The only thing I'm really watching this season, I'm watching the Villain Saga, what's it called?
Fire Force.
And okay. I'm about to drop some blasphemy because I know. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This little last JoJo was kind of whack. That John's whack as fuck. Like, man, I was like, because I kept waiting for it to, like, what was the last one? Diamonds Unbreakable?
Diamonds Unbreakable was pretty good.
That John was kind of tough. And, this was just, like, a whack follow-up. Because I kept waiting for it to get, like, because at the beginning of Diamonds Unbreakable, it would start off a little bit slow, but then it would just, like, get crazy.
Yeah.
I was waiting for this one to build up, and next you know, it was the end of the show. I was like, oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Like, the little boss just showed up out of nowhere, and then they just killed them. And, like, the little Requiem jumps is like so confusing. Yeah.
This part has like the 2 most confusing stand abilities like of any other.
The bad guy's power is confusing, and the main character's power is confusing.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, man, that jump's super right. And then the random ass, like, I was just confused in the last 2 episodes. I was like, what is going on with this rock?
Yeah, that was like a really horrible way to do it. Like it was a prologue, epilogue, like, and they just fused it together with the last 2.
I was like, whoever. That's what I messaged. I was like, whoever decided to put this in the last episode is a fucking dumbass. And then he was like, no, this is not it. Writer made it. I was like, well, this is dumbass. Sorry, writer.
No, when you sent me that, I thought I hadn't seen the episode yet, so I thought they just like did the last episode, and then after that did the Rolling Stones. Then I was like,
put it
together, and I was like,
the last episode,
and I was like, oh no, that was just stupid. Like there was no reason to do it like that. That was just confusing.
Man, I was mad confused. I didn't know if it's because I was tired, because I just left practice and I was watching. I was like, man, am I just like tired or like what is going on? Like the joke was just mad confusing, yo. But I just finished that one. But I think out of all the shows I was gonna say that Villain Saga is gonna be one of the best shows this year. I'm slicing it. That goes to that Mob Psycho, boy. That second season of Mob Psycho.
Man, you trip. You don't know. Y'all be calling things too early. We know we still got 1 season to go in October of anime.
What's coming out?
Attack on Titan already came out. It's Hero Academia.
Yeah.
You tripping,
my boy
Mirio coming into the scene, so you tripping, man. That is gonna be Hero Academia for sure.
Yeah. I can see that. But
also, don't sleep on Demon Slayer. I know you're not watching it, but like Demon Slayer is actually really good.
Demon Slayer.
Which the one with the Tanjiro, the dude with the water style.
Oh yeah. No, I read the manga.
Yeah, but you should watch.
Way far ahead.
I read the manga too, but the anime is like really good. Like it's really well animated. They just did the episode with Zenitsu and the Wiz, like, and that
the lightning kid.
Yeah.
That lightning kid is nice.
Awesome.
That is nice. I watched that when I was watching Little Villain Saga. I kind of saw that little twist coming. I was like, "Watch, they're about to Game of Thrones and mess off his dad," because the dad was too cool. I was like, "Man, this dude's gonna die." And then like the last episode I saw was the one when the kid was in the shit behind him, just angry, and it was like he's gonna starve to death. My man's about to feed on rage.
That's what he do. Oh, dang, I think the camera done cut out.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, I think the battery probably died. Yeah, battery's dead on that camera.
And that is episode 0.
We ain't really finished talking about
exactly.
So, hey man, the camera dictated when it was time to go.
It said it's time for y'all to be quiet. And like I said, it's episode 0, just us trying to figure everything out. And now we know we gotta extend the battery life on our camera.
Make sure it's fully charged.
Thank y'all for joining us. Have a nice one, y'all.
Take care now.